Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Westmoreland to get major infrastructural developments. Defend the use of states of emergency. And later, in sports, Day 4 of Asa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships underway at the National Stadium. I'm Giovanni Dennis and here are the details. Up first, Prime Minister Andrew Holness continues to defend the use of states of emergency SOEs as a means to reduce the crime across the island. Speaking in Westmoreland on Thursday, Mr. Holness stressed that the measure is warranted as the island is facing a crime crisis.
There has been rampant debate about the use of states of emergency SOEs as a crime-fighting tool. The opposition brought the matter to court with a ruling handed down in 2018 by Justice Bertram Morrison. But with over 1,000 murders per year, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the measure is warranted to deal with the rampant acts of criminality as it cannot be looked on as normal.
It cannot be considered normal that Jamaica is in the top 5 countries for homicide rates in the world. We cannot consider it normal that young men can take a car, drive furtively along a road, roll down their windows, and spray a street corner of innocent civilians.
Mr. Holness, who was speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony for the Little London police station in Westmoreland on Thursday, said too often politics has played a major role in important decisions.
We have an emergency, and I believe that notice should be taken of this, both by the opposition, both by the judiciary, and certainly the government has taken notice of it, that we have an emergency, and we need to be able to use emergency powers to address it.
Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs, Marlene Malahoo Fort, at the Standing Finance Committee meeting on March 3, listed a review of the Emergency Powers Act, including the use of states of emergency, as a priority for her ministry this year. Herman Green, TVJ. And
still at that groundbreaking ceremony, significant infrastructural developments are in the pipeline for residents of Western Westmoreland. It was the clearest indication yet from the Prime Minister. Now, the Prime Minister made the disclosure yesterday at that event. Now, but that's not all. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie says a market will be established and indigent housings. O'Shane Masters reports.
For years, vendors in Little London, Westmoreland have been clamoring for a space where they can sell their produce in comfort. Currently, they are under the open skies and open to weather elements. However, that's expected to change. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie explained how, following a tour of Westmoreland Western on Thursday.
I have spoken to the person who has the lease on the market, and they are willing to facilitate. The conditions, especially in Western Westmoreland, leave a lot to be desired. I have been meeting with the Negril Chamber of Commerce and the private sector to see how we can work to change, to help the people in Western Westmoreland.
Mr. McKenzie has blamed the poor infrastructural state of the parish on the leadership of the opposition, who has had reins of the parish for years.
I don't know how they sleep at night, knowing that they have not done what they were elected to do for the people.
But Member of Parliament for the Westmoreland Western constituency, Morland Wilson, believes most of the developments will be stalled due to political motives.
They have certain inefficiencies within the council. As a Member of Parliament, what I have to do is continue to make a representation to ensure that we get these approvals through the parish council. As it stands, it's quite difficult. And we know in some regards that it is political. We have to say it. It's glaring. So we have seen in the past where the infirmary has taken almost 9 years to be constructed. We have seen where the municipal building took 6 years. And we have seen where the fresh fruits and vegetable market is being suspended because of the unwillingness of certain actors to push the process forward.
Oisin Masters, TVJ News.
To other news, the parliamentary opposition is blasting the government for its failure to deliver on its promise to improve operations at the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC. During his presentation in Parliament recently, opposition spokesperson on transport, Michael Phillips, said the JUTC continues to operate at a loss which threatens its viability. Mr. Phillips noted the JUTC is projected to lose $8 billion for the period 2022 to 2023 and an accumulated loss of $100 billion over a 20-year period.
Pompously announced and thunderously applauded in this house, time after time. Among the promises made in previous years, 50 new buses. Up to now, not even one delivered. I only hear say some coming. More electric buses and LNG buses. Since they got those that they added to the fleet, the 5. Not one. One more has been delivered.
Lamented that the JUTC has also failed to meet its target set out in its corporate plan.
In 2021-22, the company projected to transport 27.9 million passengers. It achieved only 15.4 million. The fare box fell from $4.8 billion when the PMP left office. And that has never been seen by the JUTC ever since. This is an abject failure. And the management structure and the key personnel remain safe in their seats.
Just to note that last month, Transport Minister Audley Shaw said that the government will be moving to revamp the operations of the bus company and bolster its fleet with an additional 150 buses. And it's now time for a break here on the Midday News, but please stay with us. We'll have much more when you return. Welcome back. We're continuing the news. The Pan American Health Organization is reporting a rise in new COVID-19 cases. Speaking during a media briefing on Wednesday, PAHO's Director Carissa Etienne says this is particularly so in parts of North America and the Caribbean, where Omicron is becoming the predominant strain of the virus.
In North America, cases in Canada increased by a third compared to the previous week, and hospitalizations rose by 10%. Across the Caribbean, 15 countries and territories also saw a surge in new infections.
Etienne said this is also due to the COVID-19 surge in Europe and East Asia due to Omicron BA.2.
And across North America, Omicron is becoming the predominant variant circulating in our communities. Along with increasing tourism and travel and the relaxation of public health measures, Omicron circulation is driving the new COVID surges that we are seeing.
She's urging countries to remain vigilant and urgently close vaccination gaps. How prepared are you for an earthquake or fire? A recent simulation drill in Brayton Parkway, Portmore, St. Catherine showed the country still has a far way to go. It was held as part of activities marking Earthquake Awareness Week. Cody and Barrett reports.
Stop, drop, and roll. A universal fire safety technique, but according to head of fire prevention for the St. Catharines Division, Rayon Davis, some persons do not remember the protocols for neither fires nor an earthquake.
Whenever there's an earthquake, we need to remember, we need to assume the safety position, which is to duck, cover, and hold on to something firm, or get between a door jamb and brace so that you can, protect yourself from getting injured. It's important that when the shaking stops, people evacuate. No running, no pushing, but a quick or brisk walking to their assembly point.
Part of the simulation was also to test response time from emergency agencies. And while the fire brigade responded promptly, there were other issues, such as congestion.
When the police officers tried to cordon the area, we found out that there were some vehicles still going through the area, and that can be a danger to the rescue operators. We also saw persons at the scene, and that can also be an hindrance to the rescue operators as well. People were not, moving as promptly as they should.
They are also renewing calls for motorists to allow safe passage of emergency vehicles by clearing the road. But the overall outcome revealed that citizens do not take drills seriously.
Because we do experience well over 100 earthquakes every year, and any one of them could be the next big earthquake. But there are lapses and gaps in relation to how we as a people respond to even drills. We have to practice to do the right thing, so when an actual earthquake happens, we are actually in the right frame of mind to evacuate and take the process in a serious manner.
Cody Ann Barrett, TVJ News.
And it's now time for the Business Minute.
The Bank of Jamaica, BOJ, will give banks close to 4 years to transition to a new back-office messaging system to make transfers faster and less cumbersome. The BOJ wants to switch from the long-standing SWIFT messaging system, called MT, to a new one called MX that is built on a modern iOS 222 standard. Banks will use this messaging system to communicate on the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications SWIFT network to transmit global and local payments. Energy giant Shell says it will likely lose $5 billion after exiting Russia amid Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine. The company is expecting the total hit to fall between $4 and $5 billion. Shell previously estimated that amount would be $3.4 billion. It won't affect earnings, but shares in the company dropped more than 2% Thursday. And coming up in the Business Review this Sunday, could it be the first hourly car rental service in Jamaica? We find out this Sunday. And that's it for the Business Minute this week. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
Time now for the top regional and international stories with Sandy Williams.
In regional news, divers from Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, as well as those from private commercial enterprises, are expected to resume searching on Friday for the remaining fishermen from the sunken inter-island vessel MV Fairchance after the body of one of the fishermen was found on Thursday inside the boat which capsized last Saturday. In a statement late Thursday, Coast Guard officials said they recovered the body of a man who is yet to be identified while removing cargo that was blocking the entrance of the ship. The body was removed and handed over to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service for further investigation. The ship capsized last Saturday north of Manos Island after its cargo on board shifted to one side. 2 of the 7 crewmen were rescued, but the captain of the St. Vincent registered vessel, Dexter Chance, as well as 4 other crew members were not found. On the international scene, 167 migrants from different nationalities were found hidden in a cargo truck near the city of Puebla. According to Mexico's National Migration Institute, 135 of the migrants are from Guatemala, 20 from Honduras, 8 from El Salvador, and 4 from Cuba. In a statement, the institute said an operation called Rescue led to the arrest of 2 Mexican nationals for human trafficking. The cargo truck was also seized. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Sandy Williams.
And we now head to a quick break. When we come back, Simon Preston will have the Midday Sports.
Welcome back. It's now time for Midday Sports. I'm Simon Preston. Day 4 action of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships are now underway at the National Stadium. 13 finals are in store for the day. Our reporter Jerome Foster now has this live report. Jerome?
Thank you, guys. It's a short morning session here on day 4 of the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Athletics Championships at the National Stadium. But so far this morning, it has been the Malaya Duncan show as she has clocked 10.68 seconds, the fastest time in the Class 4 girls 70-meter hurdles, and that was heat 3.
Section. Off they go. Lovely start on the inside by Gutsmore of Titchfield, but now from Hydell, Duncan gets into her running, and Duncan will lead them home quite comfortably and relaxed in the final analysis. Very tight there.
She upstaged her schoolmate Trishania Cohen, who sped to 10.91 seconds in the first heat.
They're in the set position, sent off. Very good start by Trishana Cohen from Hydel. She's leading. Anderson of St. Jago is trying to close that gap now, but Cohen of Hydel gets there ahead of Anderson of St. Jago. 10:88, the flash time.
Ariana Brown of Edwin Allen, she was the next fastest qualifier. She logged 10.73 seconds.
Set off, they go. Pretty good start in the middle of the pack. Ariana Brown of Edwin Allen. She's prompting the initiative at this time, being chased by Thompson of Excelsior. It's Brown from Thompson.
So as you join us here at the National Stadium, you see a couple of field events in progress. The Class 3 long jump for girls, as well as the pole vault, the high jump, and the Class 1 shot put that has the world under-20 leader in Christopher Young from Edwin Allen. So it's as you were, as we started today in the point standings. Kingston College on the boys' side, they lead with 131 points. Ahead of defending champions Jamaica College with 92.3 points. Calabar, they're in third on 53 points. St. Jago in fourth on 51 with that big run from Gregory Prince yesterday in the 400 meters. And Edwin Allen, they're fifth on 38 points. That's after 15 finals. On the girls' side, defending champions Edwin Allen, they're already out front. They have 123 points. Hydel, they're in second, 83 points. St. Jago in third, 82. Homewood Technical, they're in fourth with 57 points. And Wolmer's girls, they round out the top five on 36 points. Later on this afternoon, there will be 13 finals, including the boys triple jump Class 1 final that has the world leader, Jaden Hibbert. He already won the Class 1 long jump title, and it should be a fascinating encounter. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Jerome. A lot of exciting action to come from the National Stadium. Let's move on to cricket now, as West Indies women's head coach Courtney Walsh has identified the need for more competitive cricket and developmental camps to get his side better prepared for international competition. Although saying he was pleased with the Caribbean women reaching the semi-finals of the tournament after not having much competitive cricket due to the pandemic, Walsh said the next steps were to ensure the group increased playing time and provide more avenues for new talent to be developed. Walsh, who assumed responsibility for the side in late 2020, also stressed the importance of having regional territorial boards involved in the honing the talent and skills of the region's female cricketers. West Indies women lie 6th in the ICC One-Day International rankings, a position Walsh said was pleasing, especially following the difficult years because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And finally this afternoon, the Reggae girls have arrived in Grand Cayman as they get set to face the Cayman Islands in the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup qualifiers in Georgetown on Saturday. The Reggae girls will need to beat Cayman and the Dominican Republic on Tuesday in order to advance to the final round of the CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. Tomorrow's match kicks off at 7 o'clock. And that is where we blow the final whistle for now. For your midday sports report, I'm Simon Preston. Giovanni, it's over to you.
Thanks so much, Simon. And that's also the final whistle for the midday news. I'm Giovanni Dennis. Join us at 7 for primetime news. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, have a good afternoon.